Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and Talk Nutrition to Me with our host, Kelly Springer. Kelly, how are you? And I know you're excited about our guest today.
I am excited. We have a Dr. Michael Aziz. Aziz, I love it. He is truly, I just got taken away there. I love his name. I'm going to just keep saying it. He's an expert in internal and functional medicine. The doctor is a board certified internal medicine physician, best-selling author, media commentator, and I could go on and on about his bio, but I think we should just bring him on. So, doctor, how are you?
Thank you so much for having me, Neil and Kelly.
You're welcome. I cannot wait. Let's dive into this because you have a book, right? The Ageless Revolution. I mean, I
Just
want to be a
came
part of
out.
the
Yeah.
Ageless
I don't
Revolution.
know if you get any younger, you'll be like a teenager, you'll be a baby because you look great.
Well, tell me all about this book.
So this is my second book. I authored a book about 14 years ago called The Perfect 10 Diet. It was a clean, balanced diet. It doesn't have any chemicals, unlike the low fat, which are very high in sugar, and unlike the low carb, which are full of chemicals, artificial sweeteners, and nitrites, which are related to cancer. And it's very hard to write a book. It takes a very, very long time. And the first book, it put me on the map. I've been on all the TV shows, the big shows, The View, The Doctors. And yeah, and after a long time, I have something new to say, which is how to reverse people's age. And I was really motivated by the high mortality rate we had during the COVID-19 pandemic. If we take a look at how many people died from COVID in America, it was 10 times higher than South Korea and Japan, even young people. And that was my aha moment. I said, even young people are old on the inside. So we have an epidemic of age-related diseases in old people, but now age-related diseases are happening in young people. We have young people with a low immune system. They were very susceptible to COVID. And there are 12 hallmarks of aging. There's the reasons why our cells deteriorate, why we age, why we get old, why we get sick, and why we die. And while there's some people wrote about the hallmarks of aging, no one was comprehensive enough. And I felt like I could write a book that is, I can bring all the weapons to target the aging on the cellular level, to fight aging, to get us back on track. And that was the result is the Ageless Revolution, my second book, which is a book that reverses biological age by targeting all the hallmarks of aging. And not only I wanted to make it just very comprehensive, more than the other books on the market, but I also wanted to make it very practical because right now the people who are able to do anti-aging are only the super rich, and that's not right.
That
Well, I have
go ahead,
a
Kelly.
lot. No, I mean, what were you going to say? Because I'm like blown away. This is
I
fantastic.
no, I'm going to go with you first because I'll come up with a follow up. But what I'm going to say is I have been trying to reverse aging. I know it's not a good saying always to say, but I want to live forever. And am I going to sing? Am I going to sing? I want to learn to fly. But that's a joke.
Boss, I'm
But
trying
Kelly, what are your thoughts?
to
What
work. I do
a
my
doctor
homework.
says?
I have all the weapons against aging, so I'll put you both on track.
Okay, go Kelly.
Well, I love this, but I feel like you might be one of the very first physicians that I have talked to that really truly understand the power of nutrition and just how much it equates to our health and wellness, chronic disease, and aging. So, as a registered dietitian, we it's been hard to kind of break into the medical field and to work with physicians to be there as support. So, I just thank you for getting what I do. Thank you for understanding and truly getting this knowledge out there. But people do have the power in with their choices to do this, and that's what I always want to empower people. But I think you're doing just that.
I think the problem is that, I mean, there is a willpower that you have to have the will to change your health and to improve your health, to eat right. But the biggest problem we have is not only the will of the people, it's the guidelines, Kelly, around us. The guidelines are wrong. They are from the government, they are from medical institution, and I had to find my own way. And even as physicians, we don't know anything about nutrition. We just treat the disease. We give people cholesterol medication, diabetes medication. And I was really in shock when I wrote my first book about all the research that's neglected that told us to eat fake food. So we avoided eggs for decades. We were told
Right.
not to eat cholesterol-rich food, which had to do nothing with cholesterol. We were told to eat seed oils that now everybody's talking about how bad seed oil, soybean oil. All that research was done by the soybean lobby, the Mazola, the Crisco, the margarine producer. I grew up on the junk all the time and I avoided natural fats. I avoided butter. I avoided coconut. And I had to find, and then the problem is that the diets out there that tell people to eat like low carb and you load up on the butter and the cheese is like you need carbs too. You need the good carbs. You need the fruits. You need the good vegetables. You can't be counting carb from tomatoes and cucumber and eating tons of chemicals in a low carb bar or a protein shake, which has soy protein isolate, nitrites. We know because artificial sweeteners are linked to heart attack. Nitrites are linked to many types of cancer. And we have an epidemic of cancer in the United States. An epidemic of cancer. Now we have an epidemic of colon cancer in men below age 50. And
Mhm.
that has to do with neglecting gut health and all the seed oils and the processed food and the high carbs. And we have an epidemic of cancer also in young women, about three times higher than 30, 40 years ago. We have an epidemic of breast cancer. We have an epidemic of uterine cancer, ovarian cancer in women. We have irregular periods. It's just the list just goes on. And the answer is not fake food. So my first book really is about eating natural food.
Hmm.
Well, I love that. And you probably didn't know, but so because we were just meeting each other, everyone. So this is the first time and I'm blown away. But I started a dietitian company 12 years ago, and our tagline, we even have a trademark, is real people promoting real food. And it's amazing that we have to explain what that means. And so, right?
You're brainwashed to eat all the cereals and to eat the to eat our to cook our chicken and vegetable oils. So the guidelines are wrong. I mean, I took a look some of the guidelines of medical institutions, prestigious Ivy League institutions, like they had like soybean oil, which is full of trans fat with no hydrogenation at the base of their pyramid. That's the Harvard food pyramid. How can you have that? Soybean oil has trans fat with no hydrogenation. Basically, you're telling me to start my diet at Dunkin' Donuts and ending up in McDonald's. And then we wonder why we are sick as a society. And the problem is, doctors have good intentions, but we're not trained in nutrition. We're not doing investigative work. We're not, so what happens is sometimes doctors unintentionally give the patients the wrong advice too.
No, and this is where I want to know about the ageless. What age markers should we look at? Okay, because this is really interesting, Dr. Michael. And now Kelly's going to think I'm a crazy. There was a post, a social media post on Facebook saying there's possibly a chance that in 5 years we will be able to live forever. And based on specific things that are happening, all these different things, I've talked to AI about it and I have come up with a plan. I'm not going to say anything. It's one of my I want to find a way to live forever. So, is this going to be possible? Is this crazy or is it because of AI and because of where we're going to see medicine, we're at least going to live another double lifespan that we currently live? If Good, doctor.
So I just watched this movie of Demi Moore, The Substance, and it was so scary. It's like when you take a look at the aging process and how they made her, it's like, God, I don't want to be old. But I think it's going to take more than one little thing, injection to get young, Neil. So it's work, and I tell that to people in my book. So I think we have to start with the basics. So the first part of the book, the first 150 pages, is the things that the person will do because it really depends upon the person. With the basic things, the diet, eating clean, going organic, eating a lot of superfoods. I took a look at the diet of the blue zones where people make it to 100 and I incorporated a lot of their food choices. The food that we don't eat yet, the food that can make us live a long time. Sweet purple potatoes. I mean, who would eat that? Where can you find that? They have more antioxidants than berries. Jagulan tea, they drink that in China and they're all like 100 there. So I incorporated many of those foods. Then you have to work on your sleep. Sleep is very important. You have to work on your stress because stress shorten telomeres. Telomeres are the end cap of chromosomes. And if you have shorter telomeres, you have a shorter life. You have to work on exercise. And finally, is the part of the doctor, the supplements, the medications, all the things that you have to do to get young on the cellular level. So the second part of the book is all the things that the doctor can do to help you to be young by attacking, by targeting all the hallmarks of aging.
Okay. Kelly.
No, I agree 100% with everything that you're saying. And we actually just self-published a book, exactly this, doctor. We've been working with a program that we created called the Transformation Program. And it's nothing, it's literally the basics of what is fiber, what is protein, how do you get those in your diet, what are fats. And you're right. I grew up in the 1990s. I was a teenager in the 90s, and every single thing in my mom's refrigerator was fat free. Every single thing. I don't know how I was able to absorb any vitamin D or vitamin E, right? I don't think I was eating any fat at all. And it's interesting you bring up the cancers, because I don't even think Neil knows this, but I was actually diagnosed with 4 different melanomas. I had
Oh,
cancerous colon cells at 30.
mm.
And so I'm really on top of my health, and I keep track of it. But as someone who understands nutrition, I mean, I wonder, if my diet from the night, I wasn't getting what my body needs to actually heal itself and keep it healthy. So now I try as much as possible to teach my daughters, they're now 20 and 18, about how to actually implement these different things that you're talking about today.
It's hard. It's doable. And I think people have to start with the basic. They have to learn about real food. They have to go eating natural fats again, butter, real organic, full fat fermented products. They have to exercise. They have to work on the stress. They have to work on the sleep. And then I think the next step is the things how we can get doctors to treat aging as a disease, because doctors don't see aging as a disease. You go to the doctor. I have a story in my book where my mom in menopause, she almost went crazy and was having hot flashes, night sweats, and losing her mind. And we don't have history of mental disorder in the family. And if you go to the doctor, they will tell you, your hormones for a woman in menopause are normal. Well, they are normal for a woman in menopause, but I don't want to have the hormones of somebody in their 50s. I'm always want to be compared to the younger person, the younger version of myself. So we have to treat menopause. We have to treat low testosterone. We cannot be compared to our age group. Like,
Yeah.
and that's really, we have
Yeah.
to convince doctor that aging is a disease. I want to compare myself to the younger person I could be. I want to be compared to a 20-year-old. I don't want to be compared to a 60 or 70-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yep.
very different mindset.
I So I do not want to live forever, but I do want to live healthy for as long as I am alive. And I really don't. Like, that sounds daunting. That sounds like a lot.
Well,
Um,
if you're in great
I'll
health,
have to, I'll
why
have to
not?
share the article I saw on Facebook. You'll call it fake news, but it's on my Facebook group, Media Giant. And I've already been talking to AI, and AI is giving specific
I
ways. It's
Neil, I
interesting. Go
hope
ahead.
you live forever. I really do. I just know in my 45 years, I have already lived 4 lives in these 4
You
decades.
think I have? I have too. That's why I'm trying to
And
figure it all out.
but I really truly I hear you, doctor. And when I educate, it is a great reminder always of what I need to do myself. And I love the fact that I'm in the position to educate, because I'm constantly reminded of having my water, making sure I'm getting my fiber and protein, doing what I preach. Because when I do that, I have better energy levels, I sleep better, my stress is lower. When I get off track, it goes haywire, right? So it's but I do think that education's a piece, and I like that you said in the book you really start with those core basics. I think that we have been missing the education in this country for a very long time.
Yep.
What's up my sleeve was the book. I mean, there are a lot of things that people can do that can prolong life. We know, for example, that people who eat a lot of fish live longer. So taking a fish oil every day, 1 gram, can give you 4 years of longevity. We know people who eat beans can live an extra 4 years as well. We know exercise, aerobic, just walking gives you 2 years. Brushing your teeth is a simple thing that also gives you another 2 years. Having a good sex life is another 6 years, and it just adds
Can't we double
up.
that to even further? And six?
So I want to touch on this because I haven't brought this up ever, but I will with you because you brought this up. Now, there are some doctors, like you said, that are not educated in nutrition, saying that things like beans are bad for you.
If you have gas, maybe, but but the thing is also we have to be careful about what protein choices we eat because not all protein is the same. So I do recommend a lot of seafood because of the high levels of omega-3. People who have high levels of omega-3 live 4 years longer. And a lot of us are not taking fish oil. We run out or we don't live, or we just like, oh, the doctor said it's good, but I don't take it. But if you take it consistently, you can have an extra 4 years and you haven't hit the gym, you haven't done anything, you haven't gone on the treadmill. So it's easy to take. We also know taurine is linked to longevity. That's an amino acid that is present a lot in the people who live in Japan and Okinawa. And we know also people who eat fermented food. Gut health is so important. It's one of the hallmarks of aging. So, gut health is so important because in the gut bacteria, it prevents colon cancer. It helps with our weight. And we're neglecting our gut health by eating a lot of sugar, by having the vegetable oil, the seed oils. And not only we're not eating vegetables, but we're not eating fermented food. So I make an effort every time I go to the supermarket to buy, Greek yogurt, full fat, with no added sugar, with not low fat, with high fructose corn syrup. Because once you have gut bacteria that is good, you probably will have extra few years as well. It's one of the hallmarks that keeps us healthy. So it's a few things: is having the fish oil, is having the fermented food, is the efforts that you do yourself to hit the gym and to eat right. Yeah, but beans are good. Beans also prevent colon
I
cancer.
agree. They're eaten in every single culture around the world. They have fiber and protein, and so it's frustrating to me when we see some of those Instagram posts or whatever they
Yeah.
are, and people are following that and listening to that advice. So I'm glad. I feel like we're 100% aligned, and I just appreciate you taking the time today to come on and for us to learn about the book because I think this can help a lot of people.
The only exception is maybe soy in excess. Some people are very sensitive to soybeans. So that's just one type of bean. So people, when they have too much soy, it can link to an underactive thyroid. So that's
All
a
right.
problem. And men who take too much soy, like, whether from protein shakes, they can have low testosterone. But in general, beans in general are also very, very good for prevention of breast cancer.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you,
Where
doctor.
where can we get the book? Where's the best place?
The Ageless Revolution is available everywhere on Amazon and where the books are sold, and it's available on Audible. It's even been picked up to be translated into Brazilian, Chinese, Romanian. We're going around.
Good.
We'd
Good. Well,
love it.
I can't wait to meet you someday. And
Well, we're gonna
I
connect you. That's what
yeah.
this is
Well,
what
we
this
have to
show's all
start you
about,
on.
connections.
We have to start you on the next 150 pages. It's not just about eating right. You need the doctors as well to help you. You need supplements, you need medications. There are medications linked to longevity, there are peptides linked to longevity, hormone replacement if the hormones
We
are
talked
messed up
about
as we
that in
get older.
our last guest. All right,
Yeah.
so we appreciate it. Kelly, where can we pick up your book?
Go to Amazon, go to New Weight Loss Era, and find us on kellyschoice.org. And thank you, doctor, so much for being on the
Thank you.
podcast today. Have a great day.
All
You
right,
too.
that was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and Talk Nutrition Me with Kelly Springer. Guys, take care.